picture of me and Ant thrown through an old filter. And I honestly, when I first saw this picture, I was like, sorry to Anthony. I'm not a fan of Anthony, but I do have to apologize. I really thought this was a current picture of Anthony hanging out with Robbie Krieger from the Doors. And I'm like, why is he hanging out with Robbie Krieger from the Doors? And then I look closely and I'm like, holy shit, you sons of bitches. That's me. This is the picture I'm referring to. That's all over my social media. I'm sure most of you had seen it, but let's have another laugh. It's oh my God, that is so creepy. That is so creepy. And then, you have to have all the idiots. Most of them trying to be funny, but what are you talking about? It looks like that picture was taken last week.
I think that it hit me today that the O&A show was never supposed to be a show that lasted as long as it did. We were on a runaway train from day one. Me and Anthony got together at BAB. We get a gig in Boston, and we were just out of our minds, out of control, and that's what the fans loved. Lasted 3 years up there because we pulled the crazy mayor stunt. And then we moved down to New York, and after 3 years, we get fired for an even bigger stunt, Sex for Sam. And then we come back. I think it would have been I think the O&A show should have ended around 2007, 2008. Yes. It hit me today. I'm like, that show was never supposed to have longevity, I don't think. I think maybe around 2008, the show splits. I do something. Ant does something. Jimmy hopefully goes back to stupid Jersey. And then maybe me and Ant, get together for this and that. But I don't know if that show was supposed to last as long as it did. I really started to think it would have been better if we ended that show a lot earlier than it did, which is it made it to 2014, I think. Yeah, those last 5 years, not as good. Still good, but not as good. Show was a time bomb. Yeah, it was a time bomb from day one, though. One of the things I loved saying on that show a lot was you got to tune in every day because one day you're going to tune in and we're not going to be here. And other radio shows couldn't relate to that because they were in those seats to the end. And I knew walking through that door every day that it could have been the last day for the show. And that's how we lived our lives and our careers back then. Oh, screw Howard Stern. Ugh.
You're a win. And by bringing in Dice, you brought in Norton. I will never forgive you for that. I hate Jim Norton. I'll tell you something today that I've been thinking about. So my comfort zone growing up was basically mental illness because of my mom. And so my comfort zone was to surround myself with fucking twisted individuals. I got to be honest, because it certainly comes with some pros and it comes with a lot of cons. The pros, you get some unbelievable radio out of it, but the cons, you're literally hanging with crazy people. I don't know if Jimmy's crazy, but I'll tell you this much, and it says a lot about my old character. I've had to go through a lot of therapy, a lot of soul searching, a lot of Oprah's Super Soul Sundays, a lot of Eckhart Tolle to really understand my past. Just imagine this: you're a radio guy, you're doing a very successful show with this guy Anthony. Everything's going well, and you're introduced through Dice to this young comedian from Jersey, Jim Norton. He tells a story. Literally, this is our first impression. Dice is like, tell him about I got to keep it kind of clean. Tell him about the lady of the evening and what she does to you with her logs on your chest. Jimmy proceeds to tell this insane story of a lady of the evening basically squatting over him and giving him a little treat right on his chest. And no, my first thought was, We have to get this guy on the show full time. Not thinking, if that's his opening line or his opening story, that this is absolutely going to come with problems. Jesus. Because, when you work on yourself a lot, you really got to dig deep and try to find your responsibility in things. People that have gone through like personal growth or therapy, they understand exactly what I'm saying. So I've been digging deep lately, and I'm like, why did I welcome some of these fucking lunatics into my life? And then I realized because that's my comfort zone. My comfort zone was, I was brought up around crazy, so that didn't freak me out at all when it came a call, and after I left my parents' house and I was out on my own. Imagine Opie trying to be funny. All right, how about I just do this?
And Ivanka's she's about to pop. She's due in 2-3 weeks. So
wow.
Yeah, that's why she's off the trail for the moment.
She's so hot, bro.
Yeah. Wow.
Face. Hey, Lord. Face.
Opie, do you listen to what Anthony says, or do you not care at all? I don't care at all, but at times some of the stuff hits my radar from people I really, really trust, and then I feel like I got to fight back. But the fact is, I couldn't tell you the last time I heard a word of Anthony's show. I couldn't tell you who's on it. I couldn't tell you what he talks about, and that's it. But every once in a while, people that I really, really trust will hit me with something. I'm like, oh, really? And then I have to like kind of comment about it. But honestly, I just wish the guy, whatever. I just wish him the best. What can I say? I know I didn't do anything fucking that crazy to anybody I worked with that deserved the horse shit and the abuse for all these years. I know that. I sleep well at night knowing that. Let's see. Do Rogan's podcast with Ant and Jim, it would explode. No. People are amazed that I don't want to do this stuff. Why? I think what makes it easier is I was on top of the mountain for a while, way longer than I ever thought I would be. I saw the view. It was nice. It's not all it's cracked up to be. And if I could build this on my terms, I'd be the happiest camper out there. But if this never grows past this, I'm definitely good. And that's where I'm at these days. I look at, I'll give you a little honesty today. I look at pictures of my kids, very important, special moments in their lives. Sometimes I see these pictures. I don't remember being present because that show took up a lot of my time. And then I was with people that didn't get along with me, and the toxic nature of the whole thing, that I was living and breathing that show 24 hours a day. And I missed some special moments. There are times I'll look at my wife and like, I'm happy to say that that's way in the past. The Opie and Anthony show ended 8 years ago. It started getting better immediately after that, and I felt more present. I felt like a better husband, a better friend, and a better father. And that's what's the most important thing to me these days. I don't ever want to fucking miss special moments with my goddamn kids or my wife again. So that doesn't excite me at all. If I get big again, doing it my way, God, that would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. But I don't need to do any of these shortcuts to have a giant audience again. It's just not in my blood anymore. Opie, this was the best stream. The part about you talking about being a dad and husband during the show was really real and interesting. I fucking hated what I sacrificed for that stupid show. I fucking hated it. And I'll tell you why I did it. Because I was making ridiculous money. And coming from an upbringing where we were extremely poor, that talked to me. But moving forward, I don't do that anymore. I hated that I stayed as long as I did because the money was so fucking great. There were things I maybe on a future live stream. There were things that I sacrificed in my personal fucking life to try to keep that dumb show going. And I said to myself, never again, man. I've gotten so much closer with my kids and my wife. I mean, I was always close, but I mean like more present, being there. I like I said, you try to go through life without regrets, but fuck. But I didn't know any better. Just how I was brought up, I didn't know any better. I know better now.
Speak honest numbers. What would it take for you, Anthony and Sam, to do just one Jocktober? What would be your price tag? I will not be doing any more radio with Anthony Cumia. You could ask it. You could ask it in a million dumb, stupid ways. The answer is always going to be, I will not do it. Nah, I mean, they're not all trolls, Andy. Some are old super fans that just want everything to go back how it was back in the day. And I understand that part of it. I really do. I'm sure we all have an ex. Would you go back with your ex because there was a time it all worked? Hell nah. Best advice I ever got from Ron Valeri, who's a great program director. I think he's officially retired. He was the one that discovered me. So the story goes, he was working at WAAF, the only station that really rocks. I was doing nights at WBAB. He was married to a gal from Long Island, and they would drive down to Long Island every Friday to go see, I think, her parents. And of course, being a radio guy, he was spinning through the dial, and he heard me. And he hired me, and he wanted me to go there solo. He wanted me to do the exact same shift up at AAF that I was doing at WBAB on Long Island. And I said, Ron, I appreciate it. He was very complimentary. He really, really liked what I was doing. And I go, well, you got anything else available? And he's like, well, I might have afternoons as well. I'm like, interesting. I'm like, well, I'm working with this new guy. He's very, very green, but he's very, very funny, and we got very good chemistry. I'd like to send you a tape of me and Anthony. Who's Anthony? Oh, he's a air conditioning guy, but he's really, really funny, and he comes in and blah, blah, blah. I sent him the tape, and he went, holy fuck, your chemistry with this guy is unbelievable. Yeah, I'll give you afternoons. And the rest is history, obviously. But that would have never happened if Ron Valeri wasn't taking these long drives from the Boston area all the way to Long Island to hang out with his wife's family every weekend. So I guess he would catch me on like Friday nights because I was doing 7 to midnight. But anyway, Ron Valeri, the best advice he ever gave me. Oh, and the best part of the Ron Valeri story is, so me and Anthony moved our whole lives to Boston to work at WAF. And our first meeting with Ron Valeri, true story, our first meeting, we're like, why are there all these boxes in your office? He's like, oh, I'm going to be the new program director at Q104. Maybe in a year or two, I'll steal you and bring you to New York City. I'm like, wait, you're leaving? The only reason I'm here is because you hired me. And we never really got to work with the guy. He was there maybe, I don't even know if he was there a week when me and Anthony first started up there. But the best advice he gave me, which is important to today's conversation, if you have the chance to go back with your ex-girlfriend, don't. I think he did that. I'm not positive, but, there's a reason why you break up, and then you get confused, and then there's an opportunity to go back to get together with your ex. And then you get back together with your ex, and then you realize, oh, that's right. That's why we broke up. Now I'm in hell. Definitely don't miss Jimmy. Jimmy's just making me madder and madder as time goes on, because I watch these videos. I just posted this video of Godfrey doing Jason Statham to Jason Statham, imitating him. And it's just such a great fucking moment. And you see Jimmy just sitting there. He didn't want to be there. He literally wasted my fucking time. We were in a bad spot after the Opie and Anthony show ended. Company was threatening us. We were under contract. Jimmy insisted that we need to continue because that's what Anthony would have done if I left. But people forget about that, right? And moving on from that show, it was so obvious Jimmy had no desire to do the fucking radio show with me. He did it for selfish reasons because he wasn't going to make that type of money anywhere else, and he needed to sell tickets for his shows. It was the only reason he stayed. You would think one of the reasons he would stay would be because I want to actually do radio with you. And when I see these old videos, and I got a ton of video that I've never posted. It's just a lot of work to go through it, but every once in a while I'll throw something in and look. And then time and time again, Jimmy's just sitting there fucking miserable. He wasted my time. And every time I post one of these fun videos from the past, you could just see him stewing. I'm like, then why didn't you leave? You and Anthony were the ones that were getting along. You should have left. To this day, he doesn't want to work with Anthony. The best he'll accept is having Anthony be a sidekick for his stupid cartoon character. But he's not willing to commit to work with fucking Anthony still to this day. He picked Sam over Anthony. How dumb is that? Sam has turned out to be just an okay broadcaster. He had potential back in the day. He'll work forever, but he's not going to be one of these guys that will be on private jets, buying beach houses somewhere. He'll just have a mediocre career, and that's who Jimmy picked over Anthony. So maybe some of these insane super fans should think about that and discuss that ad nauseum for the next 5 years. Why that never happened. Oh my God. I think if I was Anthony, I'd be insulted that Jimmy had many opportunities to join Anthony, I'm sure. And time again, he did not join Anthony. And in the end, he decided that the best career move was to work with Sam over Anthony. Look, I don't like Anthony at all, but that is just stupid. That is just stupid in the end. Because they actually have a relationship where they like each other. So, man, if I was Anthony, I'd be insulted by that whole thing. They have to run their stupid lives, right? I could just give my 2 cents every once in a while.
You said you have no regrets. Okay, that include Anthony. Not trolling. I do like you, but trying to understand as you give out mixed signals about my relationship. What do you? Oh God. Mixed signals. I thought I found a friend that I could do a lot of great radio with, but I absolutely did not find a friend. And it kind of sucks because we had a massively successful show, but we didn't get along at all. And that's my dilemma to this day. Yeah, leave it alone. Mixed signals. I knew Anthony. I haven't known him I haven't even talked to him. I haven't even been in the same room as him in over 8 years. I don't even know what he looks like. I barely check out any of his stuff. It's incredibly rare. It has to be something that falls in my lap, and then maybe I'll click on it here and there. But it's so rare, I can't even tell you. So I honestly don't even know what the guy looks like. And for most of our relationship, we absolutely didn't get along at all. So where are the mixed signals? Opie has always said he respects and appreciates what Ant and him did and accomplished, but he has no warm feelings towards him anymore, nor any desire to reunite. I haven't had a warm feeling towards Anthony in a very, very long time. I think he did some really, really, really shitty things. And a lot of that happened while we were doing the radio show. As the years go by, I learned more and more about it, and it's unbelievable, which is so weird, man. Oh my God, we were never good friends. I can't do this every day. Gabriel, I can't do this every day. We were never good friends. I thought we were friends when we first met, and in Boston, we certainly got along pretty well. And I started thinking that we were friends, but I now question if we ever were friends or if he was just playing me from day one. We were never good friends. You got to stop. Like I said, a lot of these questions that people want to know the answers to, I've cut them up into videos. They're on my YouTube channel. There's a nice little playlist that's called Opie and Anthony Drama. Okay, but we were never good friends. I would never consider Anthony a good friend. There was a time we absolutely got along the first couple of years, and we certainly were friendly toward each other and possibly friends, but I don't know anymore. I don't even know if that was real.
Hey, Ope, I'm a big O&A fan. Don't give a F about haters or controversy. Keep it up, man. Glad you're still broadcasting. Well, that's perfect. Thank you. I love people that are huge O&A fans. I love it. And I honestly wish over the last 8+ years, I guess at this point, I lost track, that there was way less drama. It's just too bad. There was plenty of room for me, plenty of room for Anthony, plenty of room for that worm Jim Norton to just continue doing some shit. But unfortunately, it all just got just ugly. Jim and Sam is one of the worst programs I've ever heard. Sam is terrible. Jim is over, sad, and lame. I said it recently. I did end up listening to them because SiriusXM threw my radios back on. I couldn't believe how bad it was. They both have completely given up. I think Sam, when we were friends and he was listening to me, I really believe he had a lot of potential. But then he took some stupid shortcut and teamed up with Jim, who needs a lot of attention, and the whole show has to focus around him. So Sam is just a shell of his former self. I couldn't believe how bad it was, to be completely honest with you. I'm like, how bad can this really be? If Anthony wasn't fired, how long would O&A have lasted? I mean, we were on the other side of our success. My thought was that somehow we keep the brand alive and both of us reinvent ourselves. You saw a taste of that when he was doing his show, I was doing my show, and we were doing phone calls together. I think something like that would have kept the brand alive. But instead, unfortunately, we completely split the audience, which is bad for both of us. Another 10 years? God, no. No. Sirius had it with both of us at that point. Where did I last? A little over 2 years after him, something like that? 3? I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Yeah, I know the brand is alive in everyone's hearts, but how cool would it have been, for real? Those phone calls were going well. Then Anthony decided he had to go back to hating me. He's never really explained that because we had, we never really liked each other. We took 2 years off. And then I'll be honest, those phone calls were kind of fun. And then out of nowhere, he decided he had to go back to hating me. And it's been like that ever since. And I'm fine with that at this point, whatever. But how cool would it have been if I did my own thing, continued the show with Carl and Vic? Well, they were going to die either way. You can't look at shit like, this stupid universe had it in the cards that Vic Henley and Carl had to die. So I can't think about, what if. Because the universe is pretty final. But whatever. I was doing a show. Anthony was doing his show. And then every once in a while, we jumped on each other's shows. I thought that would have been a pretty cool life for everybody. But it wasn't to be. Oh, thank you, brother. You are an icon, and there's no denying it. Well, look at that. I should end with that.
Hey, Ope, I know we don't like to bring up the past, but there will never be gold like you with the crew every day in the studio again. Thank you for all those moments. No, I like bringing up the good shit. I like to talk. I would love to talk about more of the good shit, but the drama over the years has gotten so ridiculous. I want to get to a point where I think about Opie and Anthony and kind of have a smile on my face and go back to thinking about what we accomplished with that show. But, you got an asshole that literally won't leave you alone and talks about you pretty much on a daily basis. It makes it really hard to think about the past fondly, if you want to know the truth. Dude, no, Johnny, I guarantee you, if you were my co-host, I would make something out of it. I think that's one of my strengths. I've proven over the years, before Anthony, during Anthony, after Anthony, that I could pretty much do this with anybody. That's why my new podcast is going to be called Opie and Anybody.